Hey guys, Sean here, and welcome to the qualifier watchlong for the 2026 Austrian Grand Prix. Bit hot, innit? It's a bit warm today here in the UK. In fact, 46 degrees in my office at the minute. So yeah, a little bit toasty, but I'm alive, and we'll get through this between us, I'm sure. I've got my ice water, I've got a fan, so sorry for the noise, but it's fan or no stream. Not a new quiz show on ITV, but yeah, no, it's a bit warm, but yeah, we'll live. We've got qualifying to look forward to, and it looks like it's going to be a cracker if you enjoy battles between two Mercedes and everybody else behind, although I will say we'll go through the FP3 times in just a moment before I do shout-outs, but yeah, it is a little bit closer than it was yesterday. It looked like it was going to be a bit of a walk in the park for Kimi Antonelli yesterday, and then George Russell's turned up today and everyone else has turned up as well. So yeah, I'll do shout outs and we'll do questions and that a little bit later starting. There are reasons behind that I'm not going to go into. I might explain at some point. It's nothing to worry about. I'm fine, don't worry, it's all good, but it is a hot one today. So George Russell, fastest in FP3 this morning, followed by Kimi Antonelli, less than 400s behind Kimi Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton, third place, 700ths further back with Oscar Piastri, a 10th back, and then Lando Norris, 100th back. Max Verstappen, 9,000ths back in 6th, and then Charles Leclerc, 7th, 800ths back. So it's really close between those top 7. So without building too much hype or excitement, it could be anybody's game this afternoon. So totally ready for chaos, really, or a Mercedes runaway. We'll see. Isack Hadjar 8th, Liam Lawson 9th, Lindblad 10th, Gasly 11th, Hulkenberg 12th, Bortoleto 13th, Colapinto 14th, Behrman 15th, Sainz 16th, and Sainz 17th and Albon 18th. I will say 1.8 seconds covering the top 18 isn't horrendous. And we've also got Perez 2.4 seconds off in 19th, Bottas 20th, Alonso 21st, Stroll 22nd, and I've worked out why everything seems weird to me. I've not got my headphones on. I hear myself. I can hear myself. Oh my god, how do you guys cope with this? It's horrendous. Let's have a look at what you said. Let's do some shout outs. Hey to Red Ravens, cheers. I am starting to worry a bit. Hope you are, if not well, at least okay, Sean. All good here, mate. Family stuff, but I don't want to bore you all with that one. QWJ Boots. I've got a feeling you've got another name now. I'll have a look for that later. Thank you so much, Sean. There's no one coming close to your excellence in F1. Facts, winky face, cheeky. RC says, I was going to say ST for F1 excellence, but Sean works. Only the regulars may be the ones who know who that is. Hey RC, Ewan says the track should be named after Niki Lauda, the bravest world champion of them all. I think there's a lot of talk about wanting Lauda to this track to be named after Lauda rather than a Red Bull ring, but yeah, I doubt it'll happen. Maybe one day if somebody else buys it from Red Bull, we'll see it. RC does say, do you have a new camera? Not recently new. I've had it since winter, but yeah, it's new compared to what I used to have. So maybe it looks a bit different. So the lighting's slightly different today, possibly. Hey to Kevin, hey to Pascal as well. Says good afternoon, Sean, and chat from a very hot UK. We just had a thunderstorm up here in Scotland. Hopefully it cools off a bit. I hope you're okay, Sean. Yeah, 46 in my office, about 30 outside and set to get hotter. So it's supposed to be the last day of it for us though, here in Lincoln. So although I'm coping surprisingly well for me, given I don't like anything above 10 degrees. So there you go. Hey to Connell. Hey to Annette as well. Hope you well, Annette. Hey to Dave. Says time for Zoomies. Hey to... Zoomies is brilliant. Hey to Vettel Hamilton. Says Charles Leclerc, if we based only the last 4 races, has been one of the worst drivers this year. And Corner Wookie Kieran says so exhausted from the heat. Yeah, it's a toasty one, isn't it? But again, I'm not going to moan too much. I've got everything I need. We'll get through this. We'll be fine. I must admit, now I've shut the window. I'm having regrets, but unfortunately I live on a main road, so you're going to hear everything out there, and it is loud on a Saturday. But anyway, let's stop moaning about the weather. Stop being British. Let's talk about queuing. Why not? Yeah, it looks close out there this weekend from what I've seen. I watched yesterday's practice, didn't catch this morning, so had to go off the results, but it does look like a close weekend. So hoping we're going to get a decent quali today and a good battle for pole. But there is always that lingering fear after what we saw yesterday in terms of pace, that, you know, Antonelli, Russell, they dial it up a bit, pick up the speed, and boom, a comfortable front row lockout. But I think, right now it looks like Mercedes have got this in the bag, but with Lewis Hamilton, a 10th off pole, 700ths off Antonelli, he's in there, isn't he? He's in the mix. So Ferrari engine, update. I'm not saying upgrade. Remember, update. Seems okay. Early days yet, of course, but hopefully that's going to be a boost. I know updates-wise, Mercedes have had to change their serrated... Is it diffuser? Was it the diffuser? I think it was. They've had to change that one because it didn't comply with, or it did comply with the regulations, but it was a they've been asked to change it. So they have changed that. Another couple of teams, I think it was Haas and Racing Bulls, they had a similar thing. They've had to change that. Interesting as well in terms of error. It's not for this year, but the little thing, the square or rectangle that's behind the Ferrari exhaust, that's been banned for next year. So Ferrari, obviously the FIA feel that is giving teams or Ferrari enough of an advantage that it warrants banning, but not too much of an advantage that they need to take action now, which is interesting. I know what, Ferrari fans, so maybe I'm a bit biased on this, but I don't think we need to ban every single thing that teams come up with. I've said that 100 times over the years. I think we need to let teams innovate a little bit. But it's going to be interesting why they decided to do that. There might be more on it in the future, but we have had that confirmed. We suspected it in testing. I think somebody mentioned it in chat. If you're here, let me know, but I'm pretty sure somebody in chat said that'll get banned before mid-season. So if you said that, well done. You are the Messiah. You got it right. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's a shame because I like to see innovation, but obviously the FIA have taken the action they've taken because they do. Also, interestingly, because the FIA is a great democracy, they've ended term length limits, haven't they? So we could be stuck with MBS forever, which I'm really excited for because he's done such a great job as the FIA pres so far. Although if he pushes through his V8 idea for 2030 or 2031, all of those people probably that hated him 6 months ago will love him again because that's how fickle we are. Hey, 7-string basis this afternoon, everyone. Haven't been able to be at a watch-along for a while. Good to see you, mate. Thank you for joining me today. RC says about 35 yesterday, but it felt like 52. We got to 34 yesterday, I think, but that's on the back of 4 days of hot weather, so it was like muggy. That really horrible and muggy. It's hot, but not as bad as yesterday, says Connell. Annette says which has been translated from I love this new translate feature. It's brilliant. Kira says F1 the pinnacle of motorsport or innovation. Also F1 bans anything new. Yeah. This is the thing. It's the pinnacle of motorsport. It's supposed to be, big word coming, a meritocracy. It's supposed to be a meritocracy. It's all about, we always talk about it. You go all the way back to, the X-Wings. You go all the way back to the fan car. You go to the stupid front wing that was like a little mini rear wing stuck on the front of an arrows. All of those things, the walrus nose. We lose all that these days because there's not enough wiggle room in the regulations, and I think that's a shame because we still talk about those things now in 2026, or I do at least, because I'm a loser. I don't know, but we're losing that now. No one's going to look back on that serrated diffuser and go, whoa, what a brilliant bit of innovation, but everybody talks about the double diffuser, for example. DAS, the dual axis steering thing that Mercedes had, we still talk about that because it was ingenious, but then it got banned, and it's like, just for God's sake, is it the pinnacle of motorsport and all about innovation, or is it just another heading towards spec series? Because I think if we end up at spec series and 50% electric, I can imagine viewing figures might drop off just a tad if they haven't already. But yeah, no, DAS was great. That was great. I'm trying to think what the last real innovation was apart from DAS that made us all go, holy crap. The flippy rear wings, the Macarena wings as they're calling them, that made us all pass out in testing, didn't it? That was great fun. So it's just the way F1's always been, I suppose. Right back to grooves in the tyres and things like that. Just trying to, The hottest I've ever experienced as Annette, and I can't even believe I'm reading these numbers, was 44.6. It felt like an oven. Luckily, where I live, it doesn't get anywhere near that hot. I mean, look, if you live on the equator and I'm sat here moaning about 30 degrees, you're like, ugh, wimp, bloody snowflake. But just remember how the houses are built in the UK, designed to keep heat in. In the winter, we freaking nailed it. It is so good. All the heat stays in. The problem is then when you get a 30-degree day, all the heat stays in. So, it's fine. Porpoising made us go holy crap, but not in a good way. Yeah, that wasn't necessarily an innovation though. Alfie, I'd love to have been round at the tech briefing for that one. I've got this great idea, right? We're going to make the car do that and break drivers' backs. It'll make such a difference. But I love the idea of that being an innovation. I suppose it was a consequence of innovation, wasn't it? I suppose, in a way. Anyway, let's be real now, says Vettel Hamilton 6,500. That's it, everyone's serious now. What is the main reason Leclerc has been struggling this weekend and the last 4 races? I don't know about this weekend. We've only had practice so far. He may come alive in qualifying. Last few weekends, I mean, he was very unfortunate in Monaco to catch that bit of track and the debris that came off there that put the surface that was breaking apart that put him in the wall. Because his pace was okay at that point, but he was behind his teammate all weekend that weekend, wasn't it? His home Grand Prix, or I seem to recall, unless I missed. It was only a few weeks ago, but I have slept since then. But prior to that, he wasn't getting on with his brakes, his Brembo brake. So he's switched to a. And I have to say, when you say things like this, it does. Whoever you support, it sounds like an excuse, but all I can give you is what he said, and that is that he struggled with his brakes prior to Barcelona when they made the change. But then even in Barcelona, he wasn't exactly spectacular, was he? So maybe he struggled with the brakes, if you're asking me to come up with something now. But off the top of my head, maybe he struggled with his brakes, finally made the change, but now he's going to need a couple of races to adapt. Maybe he just doesn't like these tracks. He shouldn't have signed that contract. It doesn't work for either Leclerc or Ferrari. I think it was a mistake on both fronts, but hey, they've done it now. So, but he needs to step it up because there's certainly been a massive swing. I said last year, this season really has been a massive swing towards Hamilton, hasn't it? So he's going to need to step it up if he wants to be the guy that's still leading that team when Lewis Hamilton retires, which won't be that far away, contrary to what he thinks and everyone else seems to think. He will eventually retire. Well, it's like Fernando Alonso. I don't want to retire yet. I'll be here forever. You won't, Fernando. I'm sorry. We love you, but you won't be, mate. A couple more comments then before I get everything set up for the watch long, because the music has just kicked in. I forgot that I'd gone a little bit later today, so I will just, as a heads up, need to wrap up the stream a little. Pretty much not straight after quali, but sort of 15 minutes after, get it all sorted, run through the result, make some predictions for tomorrow, then wrap it up because I've got to shoot off this afternoon. But we'll see how we go. Sometimes I say that and then someone makes a great point and then we're talking for another hour. So you know what we're like here. Annette says, yeah, Australian houses are really poorly insulated. It's 14 degrees here and I'm rugged up under a blanket. Oh, it's like heaven. Have you got sweets? Sweets and treats. I was in Morocco as a kid, hit late 40s. Genuinely think the heat inside of my flat was worse yesterday, says Connell. Kevin's questioning whether they have any heating in Australia. And I think that was all that I saw. Yeah, we got 4 days of summer every year. This is the thing. I'll tell you what. Let's do this quickly. While I'm setting up the reaction. What day is it? Is it Saturday? It is Saturday. While I'm setting up everything, so getting the timing sorted for me and getting the track map sorted out. A lot of people, I see it on socials all the time. Why don't you just get aircon? RC's point there is absolutely spot on why we don't have aircon. We get 4 days of summer a year. It's not worth spending thousands and thousands of pounds at the moment for what is 4 hot days a year. It's just not worth it. Not just the investment, but how much it'll cost to run it. It's better just to get a shitty tower fan, sit in front of it, have the air blown in your face, not feel any better for it, moan about it for 4 days, and then complain that it's gone cold. So that's why we don't have aircon here. It's not through anything other than there's just no point, really. So anyway, I think we're okay. There we go. So, as always, live timing is provided by the awesome folks over at Multi-Viewer for F1, because there is no on-screen footage, no track footage in this stream for obvious copyright reasons. So thank you to those guys for allowing me to use it in the streams. Links in the description if you'd like to customize your own viewing experience to include as much data or as little data as you'd like. You will need an F1 TV subscription of some sort. Access or Pro are absolutely fine, and it is well worth every penny, in my opinion. So thank you to those guys once again. Kieran says also it's super bad currently for the environment and would lead to even hotter days. Have you ever stood under an aircon unit, at the outside of an aircon unit? Good lord. I'm not saying that would heat the world up. I'm just saying, Christ. It's boiling under one of them. But yeah, I'm going to try and stop talking about the weather because I know there'll be some people getting really mad because it's where I live on the sun. It's like this every day. It's great. Well, I don't live on the sun, so so let's move on from that. We'll do predictions for pole before Q3. So watch Q1 and Q2. Then we'll do the predictions for Q3. Please do drop a like on the stream if you haven't already, and subscribe if you are new. And if you would like to support the channel through Patreon, link in the description, or as a membership, you can click the join button. Or if you'd like to put a super chat in to help me through my sweaty, boiling afternoon and give me some money to go for a pint after this at the pub at the end of the road, then feel free. Just click the $sign on the chat thing. I'm pointing at it, like you can see just there, right there where I'm pointing. Look, on $sign. Click on that. You'll be happy to know no hydration breaks. I've got no sponsors, so there's no point in doing hydration breaks. As soon as I've got some sponsors, I'll do some ads. Maybe I'll throw an ad break in between sessions and just have some Powerade, hydration break brought to you by Scarlet Man Cow or something. I don't know. The Patreon, no, that's the old one, RC. I've not done it for that one. I'm thinking about it. I can't get on Discord very often, so I don't really want to give that away as a reward or a bonus or whatever they call it, or a perk for Patreon if I'm not in there, because it's kind of pointless. Although the people over there are awesome. I love you all to bits, so I will try and get in there more soon, I promise. I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks this is going to be a full-time gig again. So that is the plan. I did mention the other week about a couple of offers on the table and one that we're still waiting to hear back from. I think I'm going to learn lessons of the past and stick to what I do on my own with you guys. Although I do find it quite funny. I'm going to say this now. I can get in so much trouble. I don't care. Right before we go for it, fuck it. Why not? I do find it interesting that I got fired from Planet F1 because they had no money, but they've employed another content creator to make videos for their YouTube channel. But, business and all that. We're green for qualifying in Austria. Q1 is go. We've got cars in the pit. We've got a Cadillac needed to be turned around there in the pits because they couldn't quite get out. Quite a tight turn there with the pit wall. Will they need to do the other one? Maybe. Yeah, they have to turn that one around as well. But yes, we've got cars out on track straight away. Ocon, Bottas, and another Cadillac follows. That'll be Perez. There's another Cadillac following after Bottas. Who's that going to be, Sean? Piastri? No, it's definitely Perez. So yeah, these laps, early laps, not really much jeopardy in these. It's towards the end of the session. It's quite a long session, Q1. It always feels like it drags a little bit. But yeah, it's still great to see the cars out on track in a competitive session in Austria. I'm going to turn my headphones up just a tad. If you can hear any commentary from these, do let me know. These aren't as loud as my other ones that are over here, and over here, because I don't want to get done for copyright. I'm already concerned that the TV screen is flashing on the Max Verstappen thing back there. So thank you very much, M. Harati. Just love your content, Sean. Thank you very much. Love you too. Thank you for your support. Hey, Sean isn't completely melted, says Navi Pants. Not quite. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I am getting there. Cape Verde and my Bodo Glimt. I want them to go as far as possible, says Kieran. Yes, Scotland look like they're out, don't they? As we're talking World Cup, while we wait for these laps to come on board, I think, yeah, Scotland look like they're done. Is it a 0.07 chance of qualifying? Something like that. So, yeah, not looking good for Scotland, which I'd be sad about, but they give England grief all the time, so whatever. Germany looking okay. France look very good, as expected. But yeah, I wasn't expected to watch the World Cup, and I've watched pretty much all of it so far, even staying up in the early hours watching it in bed. So I don't know why I've suddenly got into it. I just have this year. I don't normally bother with international football, but I'm enjoying it. So here goes Ocon. Then he's on a lap. He's coming up to the end of the first sector. 17.224 is the first one there. Bottas a 17.235. I mean, not awful. There's not much there, is it? Yeah, I went for it, John T. I went for it. The other stuff can do one. The heat is just about bearable, so I've gone for it. Yeah, why not? Also, branding, by the way, on point. Yeah, you see, that logo needs to be slightly smaller, but yeah, not bad. But I thought I'd get some Sean, some Formula Sean stuff done. So maybe get some stuff done at some point. There's no F1 in my channel name, so if you want hats and t-shirts, Wicked. We can do it. Put some crap quotes on there. Why not? Like Bob at Kubica. Ocon, purple obviously in the middle sector because he's the first one through there in this session with any real speed. Albon's just in a purple first sector, but that is one corner and all straight really. So maybe that's where the Williams are optimized. We haven't. The McLarens were supposed to bring a Macarena wing this weekend. They haven't. That's expected at Silverstone. It is going to be run at some point. They have got one, so that'll give us at least 3 teams with them, which is really, really cool. Russell then starting his lap. John says, whoa, what the F is this? Where's my shirt? Yeah, I'll get you a t-shirt. Pale blue with the logo on, please. All right, I'll get you a pale blue one with the logo on. I'll sort it, John C. I've got your address. That wasn't supposed to be as creepy as it sounded. I know where you live. Russell 4 tenths up on Ocon in the first sector, so he's on one now. Is that going to be the first t-shirt made out of 100% natural waffle? Yes, it is. It is indeed. A McLaren wing. I'm going to be honest, Fud. McLaren sounds like something you need to go to the clinic for. So we need a better one than that. I've got McLaren. It's not good. I've had a swab. It's all fine. Hulkenberg goes fastest to 108.5. Audi have looked okay this weekend. So Pascal might be quite excited by that one. How much should we pledge to also qualify for a t-shirt? £2.5 million. I don't know. I don't know. I tried to do that once, but the logistics of it was horrendous. But I think I can do it through YouTube, can't I? So I could set up merch through YouTube. If anyone's actually interested, then I'll do it. It's a revenue stream. Can't be bad. And you tell me what to put on the t-shirt and I'll put it on it, you know, within reason. Preferably F1 related, but it does, doesn't it, RC? Exactly. I have worked, so I can't watch, only watch certain matches, so I'm very disconnected from it. Watching highlights always feel different to the match, says Kieran. Agree. Connell, as the Red Bull comes round, Verstappen start his lap. I've not watched a single game, didn't for Qatar either. Games seem crazy, but screw FIFA for continuing to put the World Cup in politically messed up countries. Just screw FIFA for these hydration. It's totally for player welfare. Yeah, right, cool. Is that why it's called the Powerade hydration break? Yeah, totally for welfare in 16 degrees. I don't have a problem with hydration breaks in genuinely hot, difficult conditions, but, you know, autumnal weather, 16 degrees, nah, you're all right. Get on with it. Kevin wants to know how the lap times compare to last year. I think where's me? Hang on, Kevin, stop asking awkward questions, for God's sake, man. Let's have a look. Preview. What was last year's fastest lap? Oh no, I can't. Where have you gone, you swine? You'll do. I'm opening my track map. It'll tell me. It's got it all on there. So last year's fastest lap was a 107.924 in the race, but qualifying was a 103.971. So we are 4 seconds away from that at the moment, to let you know. So about a 103.9 or 4 was it, whatever I just said, 103. And Verstappen was a 107.407 to go fastest. So we're quite a way off pole at the moment. They reckon we'll be 4 seconds quicker by 2028 when they finally phase in these new changes to the power units. As Hadjar goes second, 1,000ths off Verstappen. Cracking lap from Hadjar. I think there's more time on the table though, as immediately proven by Lando Norris. It was a 107.259. Piastri is going to go through there as well, a wee bit quicker, maybe a bit slower. Sorry, I lied. He's gone way slower actually. 107.4. RC says Monster or Lucaraid is better. Hamilton's going to go across the line fastest, I think. Leclerc goes 5th. Hamilton. Oh, not quite. 107.290. Yes, Lucas's lovely, but you cannot beat in this weather water with a shit ton of ice in it, but it does dribble everywhere. Sorry, I just slurped in the micro. I'm so sorry. That's why I usually mute everything. Now you know why. Now you know why. I'm guessing most of us are, let's say, not too much of a fan of commercial things, or we'd have visited other channels to talk about F1. That's true. Yeah, that is true. Water, sure. Yeah, I've never been one to push things like Patreon and super chats. I know, like a lot of football channels are like, I won't read your comment unless it's super chat. I just can't be like that. I feel uncomfortable. Also, I get annoyed as well when I'm watching a content creator I watch. They're like, oh, please buy my merch, or please send me a super chat, or please, I'm only reading your comment if it's a super chat, or whatever. I'm kind of like, do one. I do support channels. I'm members of channels, so but I never push it. And then people shout at me and go, you should push it. In fact, I think actually I think I got your name right the other week. Is it Bylish? Bylish, I think actually you said to me a few years ago that I should push it more. So, yeah. Do you know what I love, RC? Sorry, we're going to get back to the F1 in a second. I'm sorry. I love this translation thing. It's so good. RC said TUS dig. That's translated as show yourself. YouTube, if you're watching, it's a great feature. Please do not tweak it at all. I love it. It's so good. It's so aggressive as well, RC. All right. Here I am. George Russell took pole position for the 10th time in his career in Barcelona last time out. Yeah, that's it. We want the pub feeling. That's the whole point, isn't it? But, you know, sometimes people go to pubs and they all wear the same T-shirt. So, or versions of the same T-shirt. They don't all get in one. Yeah. George Russell then starting his flying lap. Does it only do it for me? Oh my god, now I sound nuts. You're right. Like I'm making it up. I'm going to screenshot it, and now you can't say I'm making it up. Yeah. I need to do the translation as well. Sorry. He's down in the first sector though, George. So not a great. There we go. First sector. He's good again. That's the second run then. So this is fourth lap overall on these tyres. So 2 flying laps in total. So, but he was only 8th on a 107.8 before that. So it's not great for him. We're into the 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Like I said, this is quite a long session, it feels. I know they've got 22 cars to get sorted, but I do feel like it could be slightly shorter. Yeah, I'm going to Photoshop it now. Yeah, make it even worse. Yeah. Just over the line goes George. Yeah, not great. It says used tyres though for George. Is that actually used tyres, or is that because he did a second run on them? He didn't pit, did he? So they should still say new. So if he's using a used set of tyres, if that is correct on the timing tower, there's definitely time in there for George. So he's not half a second off Antonelli in theory there, but it does say Hulkenberg as well, by the way, and Ocon on used tyres, but I don't know whether they've been in or not. So a titanic battle for last between Stroll and Alonso. Yeah, I go back to what I said in Barcelona. That for me was a lot of people talk about certain weekends being bad weekends for Aston. I think that was the worst weekend for Aston this season. Not, they were a second off. The fastest Aston, which I think was Stroll, was a second off the slowest Cadillac. That's humiliating. So for me, that's their worst weekend so far, in my opinion. But some might argue being rattled to death is probably slightly worse. But yeah, certainly in terms of qualifying, that was pretty humiliating. This season, yeah. The worst day of your life so far is where we're at with Aston Martin. But it's interesting. I mean, Jonty sent me the screenshot of them yesterday or Thursday. Everybody else bringing all these updates, and Aston Martin, no updates. I think Williams didn't bring anything either. So they've got everything planned for after the summer break. But they're putting a lot of eggs in that basket, aren't they? And it's all right bringing all your updates in a B-spec car after the summer break. But a lot of teams, or several teams, are already on their B-spec cars and have been updating them. So even if Aston bring their B-spec car, they're still several months, if not half a season, behind everybody else anyway. So it's why I suppose the B-spec car becomes the baseline for 27, but that's why I would put full focus on 27 if I was Aston. But then at the same time, they've got to persuade their superstar driver Fernando Alonso to stay, haven't they? So they've got to put the effort in. But yeah, lot of rumours this weekend about Max Verstappen, about Fernando Alonso, about me. No. But yeah, Max Verstappen possibly going to McLaren, things like that. So lots going around at the minute, which is really interesting. But that's a topic probably for another day. We'll see if we've got some time after the stream to have a quick natter about it if you want to. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on things now. We're coming to the last 5:45 on the clock. MSC Bylish says, and yes, Byles is indeed quite close to the Dutch pronunciation. I don't remember what I said a few years ago, but it's probably because more people need a home away from home. Yeah, yeah, probably. Yeah, Byles. I don't know if it's Bylesh or Byles, but I'm not very good with Dutch. But yeah, I can sing some of the words to the Eurovision song Europapa, and that's about as good as I am with my Dutch. But yeah, the chorus is what I'm saying there. So yeah, I tried to learn it for you, mate, because I was certainly wasn't Biles, and Biles sounds awful. So I was like, I'm going to try and learn it for you, but I will forget and call you Steve at some point. It's like Honda wasn't even trying for years, and then knew he screwed them with his design, says Kevin. I do wonder if compromises that should have been made haven't been made. John says FP1 here. Aston were a tenth slower on softs than the caddies were on hards. That was Stroll's finest moment. Oh, sorry, talking to RC there, but yeah, no. There's a Red Bull there with nobody in it. I think is that Verstappen's Red Bull. It is indeed at the back of the garage there, but he is. You'd expect it to be through from there. 107.4. Cut-off time at the moment is a 108.7, so he should be okay there. I don't think we're going to see 1.3 seconds of track evolution. I mean, everything in Austria in terms of tyres and track is moderate. So it's moderate on stress, it's moderate on circuit abrasion, it's moderate on wear, it's moderate on degradation, it's moderate on track evolution. So I can't see them getting that much of a boost. Hey to, I'm going to say Flying Tiger again, and I'm going to go double check. No, Britain isn't Flying Tiger. Who's Flying Tiger? One of you's Flying Tiger, but Britain, yes. Hi, mate. Hope you well. was ultimately what I was saying there. So I will stress, RC, I wasn't taking a dig. People are perfectly entitled to do what they want with their channels. It's just not something I feel comfortable with. So I'm digging myself a hole there just for you, mate. All sorted. Just over 3.5 minutes left then, and we've got cars going out for their final runs. Who's going to get through at the moment in the drop zone? Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Valtteri Bottas, Esteban Ocon, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll. The last place Esteban Ocon wants to be is the slowest of the runners that actually bother to turn up at a weekend. I'm joking. Poor Aston. I feel sorry for Fernando, but you know, as somebody said not last week before, in the "You are Flying Tiger," I knew it. Deep down inside, I knew it. But yeah, was it Stewart that said it'll probably be a case of Alonso will choose to leave Aston and go to Alpine, then Alpine will be terrible and Aston will be title contenders. So maybe Aston need Fernando to leave to give them a boost because of the jinx that seems to be following him through his whole career. Is the stress of the rumours getting to Ocon? He's a second adrift, says Harati. Possibly. I'd like to think he's thicker skinned than that, because I think Esteban Ocon, I've said this before, I'll say it again, and I'll say it for the rest of his F1 career if I have to. His face doesn't fit, like a lot of people, like a lot of people's do in F1. He seems to get a lot more shit from the fan base and from the media than some drivers who are absolutely diabolical and shouldn't even be on the bloody grid. And I feel a bit sorry for him because I think he gets way too much shit because he's a bit of a aggressive, says it as he sees it kind of guy, and it annoys people. So he just gets all the grief, and he's just always there's been Ocon's faced rumours for his entire career. Don't forget, this guy was doing a cracking job against Sergio Perez at Perez's peak at Racing Point and got dropped because Daddy needed to put his son in the car. So you know the poor guy's not had it easy in F1 in terms of rumours and speculation and getting dropped from teams where he doesn't deserve it and blah blah blah. So I'll always defend Ocon. I don't think he's as bad as people say, but he's not performing well this season, no doubt at all. I'm not defending this season. He needs to step it up. 108.3 is the cutoff, by the way, a projected knockout time. Currently that could be anybody from Lindblad in 12th down. Lawson could be in trouble if somebody can get ahead of that, but yeah, that is the projected knockout time, 108.3. So Colapinto's improving. Sainz is improving. Ocon is improving, although slower than Sainz. Have we not got Martin Brundle this weekend? Damn, that's annoying. I might be wrong. I don't think I've heard him this weekend, so... Colapinto over the line needs to get 107.894. Should be okay there. Just ahead of Gasly. Ocon up into 13th place. Does improve. It's a little bit... 108.2 is a little bit close, but he might be okay if that knockout time is correct. The projected knockout time. Sainz a twitching or sliding the final corner. Goes over the line, goes 14th ahead of Lindblad on an 18.2. Lindblad improving, Bortoleto, Hülkenberg improving, Alonso and Stroll are improving. Albon doesn't improve, stays 18th place at the moment. We're running out of time for people. That's a good lap from Lindblad to 8th place. Cracking lap from Lindblad, 107.549. Bortoleto is half a second down on Bortoleto, but is up, I think. He is, yes, he's still up on his own time, so that's good. Lawson goes 4th on a 107.3, 3/10 off the fastest time by Kimi Antonelli. Stunning lap there from Liam Lawson. If he replicates that in Q3, that'll be a story. That is the checkered flag. Over the line comes Gabriel Bortoleto. He goes 12th. Does Bortoleto. Hülkenberg is next. That puts Sainz on the bubble. Hülkenberg needs this. Russell doesn't. He should be okay in 10th, but a little bit more nervy than it needed to be there for George, but he's okay. 107.5. Hülkenberg does go through into 15th. Ocon just clinging on here on the bubble, but I don't think... unless Bottas and Perez can cause quite a shock here. George Russell on another run through the final corner. Goes 5th with a purple final sector. Here comes Bottas. Right, here we go. Bottas. Nope. Going to stay 20th on a 109.0. Perez does a 108.9 and stays 19th. But again, wow. Sorry. Again, nearly a second. Bottas to Alonso. Slowest Cadillac, fastest Aston Martin, 9/10 of a second. Stroll's another 4/10 further back. Yikes. But yeah, Ocon scraped through by 200ths of a second. So 2 Williams, 2 Cadillacs, 2 Astons out in Q1. Maybe both Williams out is a bit of a surprise, I suppose. They have done better than that lately, but yeah, I think not massively shocking. Full stop there. Antonelli fastest, 107.083. Then it's Norris, Hamilton, Lawson, and Russell, 3/10 separating the top 5. Then we've got that was a good lap, says Alonso. Not what we want, but not too far. Not too far. We're getting closer. Sure. Verstappen and Hadjar 6th and 7th, Piastri 8th, Leclerc 9th, and Lindblad in 10th. That's your top 10. I mean, to be fair to Fernando, a 10th closer than they were in Barcelona's Cadillac, but yeah. But then, to be fair to Fernando, what can he say on the radio? He can't go slagging them all off, can he? He's got to box clever. I'm just going to mute my mic while I do this because I don't want to slurp in your ear again with some disgusting ASMR thing. Oh, that is good vodka. I mean, water. It's lovely. Audi through to Q2. I was a bit nervous there. This is Pascal. Yeah, Hülkenberg through. Bortoleto well through, actually. Bortoleto in the end. In P12, so... that deficit for Aston can't be all engine. That car must be garbage as well. I mean, I think the whole package is terrible, to be honest, Kevin. I think the early races... I mean, it's only race 9, isn't it? Or something like that. But you know what I mean. Early races, I think... that was the rattling and the vibrations that were the big problem. But you know, they've allegedly resolved those issues. You know, they're able to finish races now, which is good when they finish them. But yeah, I don't think the car's very good, and I still wonder if there's been like a compromises that needed to be made on both sides that weren't made. So Newey says, I want this packaging. Honda says we can't handle that. Honda weren't willing to compromise. Newey wasn't really willing to compromise, and they've ended up with what they've got, which is a car and engine that just aren't working. But I don't know if you know, if Fernando was 24, you know, hadn't won world championships and races yet, and was, you know, still a young gun, young hotshot, ready to have this great F1 career, I think he'd definitely be here next year. And while he says that he might still be there next year, and it's, you know, he wants to help Aston Martin become a better team and all of this, does he really want to do this again next year potentially? Really? Do we believe that? Bearing in mind how grumpy he got when he was in McLaren and Honda, and even McLaren and the McLaren Renault days, when it just wasn't really, he just was not a happy guy. So does he want to do that again? in his 40s now. He could go off and do racing in Le Mans. He could go have another crack at the Indy 500. There's so many things he could do. I don't think I'd want to do it, but if he enjoys it and he's happy doing that to help the team, then that's fine. But I'm just not totally sold on that. We'll see. Maybe it all comes down to the summer break. If that update works and it becomes an upgrade and it all works and Aston take a big step forward and he's happier in the car and they look like they're moving in the right direction, then maybe he'll give it another season. But if they are still where they are now after all of that, I'd be very surprised. But then, what do I know? Sure, that car was bad, but the gap to Cadillac might just be engine. The rest to the top 15 is car for sure, says Byless. Yori and Double Micro agreeing the track is that much shorter as well. I mean, is it the shortest track on the calendar? 4.3? 4.6 kilometers, something like that. 10 corners, not really. 9, because turn 2 is not a corner. I know it's done on Marshall's post, but I will absolutely jump on that hill and die on it. Turn 2 is not a corner. I mean, when he's got a sniff for podium, it says Annette, he is still amazing, but racing for P20, I just can't imagine. No, I'm the same. I mean, look at Alpine when he was suddenly contending for podiums, and indeed at Aston Martin in the early years. He was like the Fernando of old, wasn't it? It was great to see. Loved it. But I don't... If he's coming out of qualifying looking at 9/10 to Cadillac and sitting in 21st place and saying it was a good lap and it's a step forward, it just doesn't feel very Fernando. But then again, he might relish the challenge of trying to turn Aston Martin around. So I'm not going to speak for him. It just seems odd to me that he'd want to do another season in that position. But then some would argue that Lewis Hamilton's doing another season at Ferrari this year was maybe not what they expected given how he performed last year, but look what he's doing now. So things can tell. I'm not suggesting Fernando Alonso wins the championship or challenges for the championship next year, or race wins, but a good jump into the midfield, he might be fine. But Alonso with a midfield car, you're going to score points, and he wants to be fighting. So at the minute, I don't see much of it from Aston. Kimi, says Dave, was only a few months old when Alonso won his last title, so it's amazing he's still got the desire after all that time. Yeah. I think I'd long left school when Kimi Antonelli was born. I mean, it's depressing to put it like that, but yeah, no. I don't like green light for Q2. By the way, we are going for Q2. But just back to the Alonso thing, I don't like seeing him down there. I want to see. And look, this is romantic, it's idealistic, whatever, but I want to see Hamilton, Verstappen, Alonso in particular at the sharp end, fighting for podiums, wins and titles. I know that's dreamland, it doesn't happen like that, but I go back to the 7 or 6 world champions we had? Hamilton, Button, Schumacher, Vettel, Raikkonen, Alonso. There's one more in there somewhere, possibly. When we had all those world champions, you wanted them at the sharp end, not trudging around at the back. And we actually had some great battles between those, actually thinking back. But yeah. John T and Byless are talking. Rosberg wasn't champion when we had all those champions on the grid, was he? With Schumacher there, I'm thinking. He was not quite. Apparently Lando's damaged his car, according to Ted Kravitz. He's straight out on track though, so it's got 4 wheels on it. So there you go. I can give you confirm now it has 4 wheels on it. Yeah, Ted is talking about that repair now, so thank you for that, Fudd. Appreciate that, mate. Going in a bit of a gap here is Lando. Nobody on track. Nice and empty track. You'll enjoy this. Maybe just testing the car is okay. No, it was. I think it was like a 2010-11 time. Connell, I'm thinking of. I'm thinking 2012 as well. Yeah, it was around that time. Maldonado won. We had Alonso world champion. Schumacher was still here. Hamilton, Button, Vettel, Raikkonen. Maybe it was 6. Maybe it was 6. Just imagine Red Bull took Alonso instead of Perez. Would Max have won the title last year? Would Fernando have scored a few more wins, maybe a title himself? Or would it have tanked Red Bull much earlier, says Bilas? Well, if Fernando had gone to Red Bull, they'd never have won a title because of his jinx, of course. Don't forget, he ran over a witch all those years ago after winning his second title. He's cursed. He's got the amulet. He needs to return it quickly. But yeah, no... it depends, doesn't it? Would the car have been geared towards Verstappen? Would that have had an impact on Alonso? Would Alonso have been able to adapt to that better than Perez did? I mean, don't forget, Perez in his early years at Red Bull actually did a really decent job. I don't think he was bad at all as the second driver there. It just all sort of fell apart towards the end of his time there, which was a shame because, we love Perez here, so... Yeah, Massa was a champion for basically a corner, you're right, yeah. 2008, and he still thinks he was, so he's still fighting that now. So Norris, obviously purple in the first sector on a used set of soft tyres. He is the only one going for a lap at the moment. So Verstappen and Hadjar just leaving the pits. So a slow start to Q2, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Rosberg won 2016, didn't he? Yes, it won't have been Rosberg. That's annoying me. I'm going to have to go have a look later. But yeah, I'm sure I've got 6 in my head now. It must have been 6. But let's focus on what's happening in quali. We're going to do some midweek streams soon. Well, I need to ask Jonty first if he's up for any. We'll have to sort some dates out. But yeah, we will do some midweek streams soon, and we'll do some history chat and stuff like that. So contemplating, having gone back and looked at the channel, contemplating the return of things like Garage Gossip, or the arrival of Garage Gossip here, because I always used to quite enjoy doing those. Speculation's fun. People don't like gossip, but I enjoyed it. So I think I can unpin that message now, can't I? I think people know what's happening with the stream. There we go. So Max is going to come round for a lap. He's on used tyres. Hadjar's on new tyres. So yes, so it's going to be used tyres for Verstappen. So bear that in mind with that massive... the gap in the rear wing of that Red Bull is utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. I don't care what anyone says. It's brilliant, but it's ridiculous. I love it. He's coming up now. So 16.8 on used tyres for Norris in the first sector. 16.6. Nearly 16.7 for Max Verstappen. Into turn 4 is Max Verstappen. I was going to say 5, but it's not. This is 5, isn't it? The little kink. And then into, I love the sequence of corners in Austria, 6 and 7 in particular. So fast left. Yeah, there's a little bit, I think there's a little bit more time on the table if he wants it. Leclerc's gone purple in the first sector, 16.6 on a new set of tyres, though. Bear that in mind. 16.8 on new tyres for Hadjar as well in that first sector. Here comes Max Verstappen. 1 corner to go, turn 10. Opens the rear wing and drops the front wing, of course. And you set 107.183. Actually, just under a tenth and a half quicker than Norris in the end. So pretty solid there from Verstappen on used tyres. Hadjar on new tyres, a tenth off his teammate. So let's see what Leclerc can do. There goes Leclerc. Goes fastest by a tenth and a half. 107 flat on a new set of soft tyres for Leclerc. Hamilton also on a new set of tyres. Over the line, he goes a little bit slower than his teammate. 9 thousandths actually. So good lap that from Leclerc in the end. That's the benchmark he's got to look at there. Bylis says that YouTube nonsense in the meantime. Like and subscribe, people. Do it for Sean. I'm just reading the message. Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, likes always appreciated, and subs as well. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. Actually, if you're new, say hi in the chat if you subscribed on the preview this week, 'cause it was quite a little boost, which was very, very lovely. So thank you very much to everybody, and welcome to the madhouse, I suppose. I'd say it again. If you want to know what this channel is, mates in the pub, just F1 fans sat around talking nonsense about F1. We end up where we end up most streams, and videos are a little bit more structured, maybe. But yeah, maybe. But great to have you here either way. That's what I'm saying. So, Piastri purple in the middle sector. Must have sat on something there. Bit high pitch, but yeah, purple in the middle sector for Oscar Piastri. Antonelli goes fastest though, 2.5 tenths quicker than Charles Leclerc. We're in the 106s, 106.763. Piastri still goes second on a 106.8. So your top four are on new tyres, nudes in the Renaissance. They're on new tyres. Verstappen used, Hadjar new, Norris used, Gasly new, everybody else on used tyres apart from Russell, who's on new softs. Yeah, we should rename to the Mad Ring House. Yeah, and it's a terrible name for a track, but it's a track name that is going to slowly become iconic if it is as chaotic as people suspect it might be. But I do like, and I've watched some laps of it now, but I do like that the end of the lap is basically going through an industrial estate. Like, how do we get this back to the start? I know. Let's just take it around all these industrial buildings. It'll look great. It'll look fantastic. How long before that's a night race, by the way? Question. It'll be a day race for a couple of years. How long do they switch it to a night race? Because it turns out that it's not a great track for racing and they need to do something to make it look interesting. 2030? Maybe? Coincide with the new regs? Right, everyone's going to the pits because they hate us. Currently fastest, Kimi Antonelli 106.7, then it's Piastri 106.8, Leclerc 2.5 tenths back in third, Hamilton 9 thousandths further back in fourth, Verstappen a tenth and a half off Hamilton in fifth, Hadjar a tenth further back in sixth, Norris 6 thousandths back in seventh, Gasly eighth, Lawson ninth, Lindblad 10th, and then it's Bortoletto, Colapinto, Behrman, Hulkenberg, Ocon and Russell all in the drop zone. What's happening with George Russell? That's the question. He's on 2 laps on those tyres. Not finished the laps. A 16.686 was his best first sector. Then a 36.2. So something's happened in the middle sector that I've missed. He went wide at turn 3. Thank you, Fudd. So that's why he's then coming. I assume he'll put a fresh set of softs on. We'll find out in a moment. He might go with the used. They've only done 2 laps. We'll see. Yeah, it's a used set, so he's going to go again. Wider than he'd have liked. Is that what we're saying then, Fudd? Went wide, almost did. Just wider than he'd like to have been in there. Aren't Formula E going to proper tracks next year? Or am I wrong? I read that somewhere. I know it was Zandvoort, aren't they? So, just a random aside. Talking to chat there to Byler. Sorry, yeah. George, just drive, says Russell. Oh, do you know, I didn't like the original Sky Sports F1 theme. I'd take it over their one this year. Just drive. Much better, but still awful. Yeah, so George, maybe George getting a bit frustrated that we've not heard on the radio, or I'm going to rewind that slightly because I was sort of half. Yeah, George didn't seem to say anything on the radio, so it was just that Toto came on and said, I missed that, John. What did they say? Oh, I need to know now. You need to tell me what was said. You can't do that to us. Yeah, maybe Fudd. It could have been that, but yeah, Toto's come over and said, get on with it, basically. Yeah. Interesting. Piastri P2 looking, I think Antonelli and Piastri like staying in the pits, maybe. Verstappen, perhaps. Yes, Brands Hatch stuff. I saw Formula E, yeah, Brands Hatch, yeah. That's good. Antonelli, sorry, Norris has gone quicker than Antonelli in the middle sector. Purple, 29.8. So a tenth quicker, more than a tenth quicker than Antonelli there, so. Norris stays or goes third, 106.897. 10th off. That's not bad from Norris though. On those if he's carrying damage. Sorry. Russell. Yeah, 106.9 for Russell should be okay there. Not. Yeah, he should not comfortable, but should be fine. Give it 3 minutes. 2:20 to go, so less than 3 minutes. There you go. 107.5 is a projected knockout. Oh yeah, he's well through then. That's fine. Hamilton's lost a lap time. Track limits deleted. Lap time deleted. Track limits turn 3, lap 7. So he's okay. So yeah, 7.0 should be okay. He's going to get anyway. Yeah, Max is not comfortable there, is he? But again, if that projected knockout time of a 107 is correct, Gasly down are in trouble. Hadjar isn't comfortable. I would say that's only a projected knockout, of course. That can easily go anyway, couldn't it? So Sky said, looking at the drifting tyre marks on track with Crofty saying, looks like Mazepin's been doing some demonstrations. Rude. Cheeky. I like it. Here comes the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. Stays 5th on a 107.0. So Max is still in the pit lane, by the way. So they're comfortable. Hamilton improves to go 5th on a 106.994. Hadjar's improving. Lawson's improving. Lindblad's improving. You see where we're going with this. Hadjar does improve and goes ahead of Max Verstappen on a 107.0. Lawson's the big one here. He goes ahead of Verstappen on a 107.1. Max is in a little bit of bother here. Here comes Arvid Lindblad. He could be about to upset. He does indeed. He goes 9th. Verstappen's on the bubble. Behrman improving, but not quick enough. Hülkenberg improving. Hülkenberg not really. Ocon not really. I think Max is just... Ocon goes 12th. I think Max is just going to get through here. Famous last words. Behrman was in there in 11th place. 3/10 off, though. I think we're seeing a gap from the front runners to the midfield here. Yeah, Hülkenberg 13th. Gasly is up on a time to get him through. So Pierre Gasly is the threat to Max Verstappen. Not back by current teammate. They're not back by a former teammate. Might be not back again by another former teammate. They're going to be squeaky bum time at Red Bull. Here comes Pierre Gasly. 107.183 to beat. He doesn't do it by 0.04 of a second. And Max unclenches. That would have been a little bit nervy there. That was unnecessary from Red Bull. But they have saved that set of tyres back. Or got that set of tyres back. So that was close. Gasly again, 0.040 off Max Verstappen in 10th place. So, whew, Max, that was nervy. That was, that was close. Very, very close. But Antonelli fastest, and it's Piastri, Norris, Russell, and Hamilton. They're your top 5. Leclerc, Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad, Verstappen finished the top 10 and then knocked out in Q2. Gasly 11th, again, very, very close. Bortoletto not far off in 12th. Behrman 13th. Hülkenberg 14th. Ocon 15th. Colapinto 16th. And they join Sainz, Albon, Perez, Bottas, Alonso, and Stroll. Having an early ice bath, I imagine. I was going to say we're on Bobby had a wiggle, but I didn't want to, get too excited by that. But it was a little wiggle which could have cost a bit of time, but I'd love to see that lap from Gasly because that was obviously a very good lap to be that close to well done to the Racing Bulls, by the way. It's Red Bull heaven there, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th, isn't it? It's all a Red Bull party. There ain't no party like a Red Bull party. Mac would say, heart rate went a bit higher there, but it was all planned, of course. Yeah. That was all good fun. Still got another session to go, of course. Q3 on its way. I'll try not to slurp in a microphone. I apologise. I'm having to wipe the condensation away. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. I apologise if it was. Spa 24 doing Spa 24 things. I saw... Where are you? You've gone. Navipant said 5 cars died on the first round of Spa 24. So, yeah, doing its thing by the sounds of it. Max has got cars in that this weekend, hasn't he? The 24 hours of Spa. Yeah, true. Yeah, it has always been tight around Austria. It's such a short lap, though, isn't it? I mean, to be expected, but yeah, I little bit disappointed with Ferrari so far this weekend. We'll get into that later. Pop your predictions for your top 3 or just your pole sitter in the chat. Who do you think will be on pole? I'll do shout outs in just a second. I'm going to go with it's the same as my Thursday predictions. Nothing I saw yesterday changed that view. This morning I was a little bit unsure. Looking at so far in qualifying, I've got to go with Antonelli for pole. Hey Kaori. Hello Kaori. How are you? Hope you're okay. I hope it's cool the way you are. We're good, but I hope you're having a good day, Kaori, or have had a good day. But yes, get your predictions in. I'm going to go Antonelli. I don't think anyone. Where's Russell? 2/10 off. It doesn't sound like a lot, but maybe that'll change. I'm gonna have a beer tonight. I'm gonna have a beer. Football as well. Hopefully, less of a waste of time than England Ghana was, because that was the biggest. It was like watching Man United. It was just a waste of my time. Fudd says, before seeing Q1 and Q2, I said Antonelli, Russell, Hamilton, going to stick with it. Alfie's going with Russell for pole position. John says, imagine a big public channel meet with everyone walking in like, hey guys, name here. Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe one day. Maybe we do go to Autosport in January and we meet some people there. That'd be nice. You see my face now. I can't hide, can I? I used to be able to hide because you wouldn't know who it was. Jamie's having a meltdown in chat. Jamie says, no beerer. Whiskey is the Sana. Answer, I can't type. So Jamie's having a breakdown. He's fine. Annette says, Antonelli, predictably. Pascal says, Hamilton, Piastri, Antonelli. Yes, ASI is back in. Well, supposed to be back in January, John T. They said they're taking a year off and coming back for 27. So hopefully, I'm going to say some. It depends on it falls. I'm away in January, actually, for a week. We're going away for a January Centre Parks trip because I take my holidays in the winter because that's when there's no F1. So it'll be cold, but the dog's going to bloody love it. We can't wait. A week away at Centre Parks with the pooch. It'll be lovely. I know a lot of people are like, it's not much of a holiday, but to us, just not being in these 4 bloody walls would be fantastic. So hopefully Autosport falls the weekend before or the weekend after. But we'll sort it if not. 2020 was great, but I still say it, John T. I'll do you more predictions in a minute, but I still say it. 2020 at Autosport was incredible at the time. Looking back now, how were that many people allowed in that space at that time of our lives, if you know what I'm talking about? My God. Madness when you think about it. 3 months later, we're not allowed out of our bloody house, It still seems mad, but it was all good. It was a great weekend. That was a lot of beer. A lot of stuff came back on tax though, because I was networking. So I think I read Pascal's Hamilton, Piastri, Antonelli. Jamie needs help. He's lost his mind. M. Harati says Antonelli, Hamilton, Piastri. Flying Tiger says Russell, Verstappen, Hamilton. The McLarens are most likely out this weekend in the straights. I wonder if the McLaren. I think that's worse. We would have helped. My puppy turned 1 year old, says Jamie. Happy birthday to Jamie's pup. And it could have been. Yeah. And Kimi, King George Russell, and Lando for Kaori. If I missed your... I think I got them all in the end. The predictions. I'm going to go with Antonelli for pole. I just don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. But then, it just takes one moment, one great lap. We all know Lewis Hamilton, if he wants to, can pull a lap out of the bag. I'm still loving this translate. Like, Kaori predicted Kimi, King George Russell, and Lando. That's been translated to Kimi, King George Russell, country. Jamie's just doing his predictions. There is the green light, the green flag, whatever you want to call it, for Q3, our top 10 shootout, hopefully. all going well. We just want a good battle. I want a good battle for pole. Hey to Craig, how's the pooch? He's had a haircut today, so he's relieved. Lucky to get it. The groomer was nearly going to close and then decided just to get him done, but he was bit fluffy, bless him, struggling in the heat, but he's had a haircut today, so he's much happier now. So yeah, see you later, Alfie. Have a good one, mate. Hope you've had a good day and work isn't too rough, and we've got a story for you after quali, something to talk about tomorrow. Have a good one, mate. But yes, we are go for the old Q3. I'm not. Thumbs up to you too. I'm not sure what the face palm was for, Craig. Did I say something wrong? I worry now. Craig's going to tell me off. Jamie's gone for Verstappen, Limbad, and Leclerc. There we go. Thank you. Gotta go, Max, as Sad Mariners fan. I need to be able to predict something right on Thursday. Yes. Predictions. Look, predictions are going. The predictions battle between me and the preview comments are going, while we wait for these laps to go in, so well this year. I mean, I've scored 12.5 points out of 49. You've scored 11. I mean, it's almost like, why are we bothering? We're just all really, really bad at it. But I think it actually, there's a positive in there. I think that shows us just how, even though when you look at the season table and you see win for Mercedes and Antonelli, it's a lot more unpredictable than I think we expected behind that. So I think it's a good thing. I would rather have 12.5 points out of 49 and we're getting mixed up weekends than be right every weekend, because then it's predictable and it's boring, and you know, I'm enjoying it. It's good fun, but it's a good laugh. It's good fun. Jonty reckons this weekend will be the flashpoint. Another one. It is unpredictable. It's like I say, you look at it and you see Mercedes, Ferrari, or whatever the numbers are there. You'd go, oh, Mercedes domination, boring. But the second team is changing every weekend, isn't it? More or less. And I'm enjoying it. And it's so nice as well that I'm going to say this with confidence now, given we've seen so many different tracks. But those tweaks that didn't look like much before Miami seem to have made a difference as well. So it's good that we'll be able to talk about the racing, which is all I wanted. By the time we got to Miami, I was sick of talking about rules. I just wanted to talk about racing. We can do that now. So I've got a cockapoo, Jamie. He's 4 years old, I think. 3 or 4. 4, I think. I should know that, but you lose count, don't you? Here we go. Cars heading out the pit lane. We've got to wait a couple of minutes, which, you know, is why you can maybe shorten Q3 back to 10 minutes, I suppose. But if we're just going to miss a few anyway, they're going to go at a 10-minute mark. But yeah, let's have some proper turn 3 shenanigans. David Coulthard, Mika Hakkinen. Let's have some of that. Why not? What was it David Coulthard said after that one in the pen in 99? It was, what was it? Oh no, it was in the press conference. Not only pretty much the worst outcome, not only did I take out my teammate, I also came second to a Ferrari, or something like that. Like the worst thing David Coulthard could have done. I will say, great recovery from Mika Hakkinen in that race. Go find it online. Really good one to watch. Mika in a very quick car, yes, but Mika doing his Mika things. Yeah, he doesn't molt, Jamie. Not Mika Hakkinen. Mika Hakkinen probably does molt, but the pooch doesn't molt. So it means when we get to the summer, it's really difficult to keep him cool. But then in the winter, it's fine. And it's lovely not having hair everywhere. Our Basset Hound has been living under a fan, says 7-string bassist. Yeah. I spent £40 on a cooling mat for Baxter, and he just keeps sleeping at the other end of the room to it because he's a knob. He just is not interested no matter what I try, so I just put my feet on it because it's lovely. Here we go then. We've got some proper laps. Qualifying laps now for the top 10 shootout. Here comes Lando Norris. First one to pop a lap in through turn 1. A little bit wide at turn 2, but they tend to travel wide at this side of the sausage, ideally. Hurtling towards turn 2, but it's actually turn 3. Obviously purple. First one to do a lap of 16.645, so not bad. He's a little bit wide at turn 3 again there. Did he touch that sausage curb? But yeah, tiny toe off the Mercedes, who was backing off anyway, so that's not much there. We have some of the large pet cooling mats. They're on our bed for us, says John T. Do they work in bed for humans? If so, okay, I'm going for it. 2 left feet says I've lost 4 kg. Well done, mate. Congratulations. That's awesome. That's not just from sweating, is it? You're not saying it's really hot. Yeah, but that's awesome. Well done. Keep it up, he says. Although I've lost some. I'm doing it steady. My mum keeps going, I should get on the jabs because she's used them, but I would prefer to do it sustainably because I don't really see the point in spending a fortune on jabs if I'm then going to eat pizza for 3 years afterwards to put it all back on again. So slowly. It's a lot slower, but it's sustainable. Anybody who's on the jabs, that's not a criticism. That is entirely up to you. It's your choice, and I respect that. If it works for you, it works for you. I don't have to defend that. I wasn't being a horrible person with it, but yeah. 106.4 for Verstappen. That's just 0.4 seconds quicker than Norris and 2 tenths quicker than Piastri, who goes P2. 2 left feet says just from sweating at work. Well, still well done, mate. Keep going. But nothing left to you by the end of the day. This is close. Well, it's not close on paper, but it's not. I wasn't expecting Max to rock up, but then again, he has the form here. It's 5 wins here. He took multiple poles in a row at one point. He loves this track. Red Bull have an upgraded car, and as I said in the preview, if anyone can, Max can. But Antonelli's still out there. Bear that in mind. I'll do use tyres in a minute. Antonelli 6.4 to beat. Does it? Oh, just a little bit quicker. 106.414. 600ths of a second. Here comes Georgie boy. What can he do? Can he get anywhere near them? He can. He splits them. He goes on the front row. 106.457. George has turned up. It's all kicking off. Take care, Bilas, mate. Have a good one. Have a good afternoon. Hopefully see you tomorrow for the reaction. We've got Stuart with me tomorrow, and I think he's doing Silverstone as well. I'll need to double check. That's it. If anybody can, Max can. Yeah, that's the t-shirt. Used tyres, by the way. Hadjar, Lawson, Lindblad. Here's Hamilton there. We're going to see a moment, I think, here at turn 3. Yeah, really. Oh, yeah, well wide there. I mean, it wouldn't have been deleted, but he would have lost so much time anyway, so... he wanted a second run, but the team have called him in, so maybe not enough fuel, maybe just wanted to make sure the tyres are okay. Lindblad's been noted for an unsafe release, by the way, so if anything, there'll be a fine there. Yeah, Russell, thank you. And I think, I thought Norris was going to do it on his lap because he went in really deep at turn 3, but yeah, 5 minutes to go. Now they're all going to take a breather, so I'm going to have another slug of definitely water, and it is water. I'm not a big water drinker. When it's hot, it's all I'll drink. It just is the only thing that works for me, so weird that. Just listen to Ted. Sorry, I should say when I go quiet what I'm doing, shouldn't I? I'm just listening to Ted. Sorry, I'm not. Yes, you're going to get one run, Hamilton. I was just checking there was nothing wrong with the car there with Ferrari. There was nothing there, but yeah. Yeah, but water and vodka look the same. It could be rum. It could be a white rum. It could be ethanol, for all you know. It's a really awkward braking zone. This is so short, being uphill and just after a kink. Yeah. It's a good corner, though. I like that corner. It's a chat. It looks... The Red Bull Ring on paper looks like quite an easy track, doesn't it? 10 corners. Easy, but it's not. It's particularly with turn 3, it's a challenge. Then you're coming downhill for 4, so that's tricky. And yeah, I think it's and those last 2 corners are deceptively tough as well. I do love this track. I know it's a bit Mickey Mouse in some ways, but yeah, it's a nice break from the long, super wide, Bahrains and all that lot that of modern tracks. I just like this. Silverstone next week, of course. Anyone in chat going to Silverstone while we're waiting for the laps to get going? Anybody won the lottery overnight and they're going next week, or are you just gonna watch on TV? I do get a lot of FOMO when Silverstone rolls around, and I'm sort of, I wish I'd saved the money and gone, but nah. Here we go. 3 minutes to go at the Red Bull Ring. I am not going, Craig. No, mate, I'm not. I did look at Friday tickets the other week just out of interest, but Friday's like the worst day. Who cares? You know? But it is the cheapest day, but even then it's not cheap. So I will go again at some point. I'm sure I will, but it's been a while now. So, recap, I guess. Antonelli is fastest, Russell second, Verstappen third. A whopping 0.061 between the top three. They are the ones to watch here for pole position. Don't rule out Lewis Hamilton. He hasn't got his lap in yet. And even Piastri. Piastri looks decent this weekend. Leclerc might surprise as well, but they are a little bit further back now. So just bear that in mind. But I think Verstappen okay in pit exit there. But yeah, Lindblad's been reviewed. No further investigation. We should do WEC. It's back at Silverstone next year in April, says John T. April. Wow. Did Bernie arrange it? Is he okay? Yeah, he seems okay. Yeah, so he's backing off there. So, yeah, who remembers Silverstone at Easter? That was a genius idea, wasn't it? God. It rained and the car park got muddy. Raining in April in the UK? Bernie, how did you not know this, my friend? Are you stupid? Don't answer that. Here goes Lewis Hamilton, the wing, wide open at the rear. What can he do? Fresh set of tyres. This is his one and only run. He needs to get turn 3 absolutely spot on here. That was where his mistake was. 16.564 to beat. He does a 16.521. He is marginally up in the first sector, Lewis Hamilton. So he's bringing himself into play. He might need a bit more than that because obviously Antonelli in theory should improve. So should Russell. So should Verstappen. Leclerc's gone purple. He's 800ths up in the first sector. So Ferrari are waking up here. Norris is a little bit down, but he's still improving. So it's a little bit closer than maybe we were expecting there. I know Sad Mariners fan just said, don't think that... whoa! Hamilton's 2/10 up in the middle sector on Antonelli. Hang on a second. I was about to talk earlier about how disappointed I was with Ferrari so far. Maybe they've saved it all as Hadjar goes fourth on the 106.632 with 20 seconds to go. Lewis Hamilton round the final corner, giving it everything out there, and he goes to pole position provisionally, a 106.408. Leclerc is in this as well. Norris is down. Piastri is down. What can Charles Leclerc do? Are we going to get a Ferrari front row here? Go on, make my bloody day. There's the checkered flag. There goes Leclerc, goes pole position, 106, 349. What can Norris do? Not quite. He goes 6th. Not quite is a bit much. Verstappen is up in the middle sector, purple, but he's down overall. Oh no, I can't handle this. Oh, and Verstappen's crashed it. He's in the gravel and he's in the wall. And that is it. Charles Leclerc, pole position. That is it. He's lost it at turn 9, is it? No, Kimi's backed off too much, and rightly so because of the yellow. He's not going to improve. Crofty, calm the down. Screaming. 106.3. It's an all Ferrari front row lockout. Charles Leclerc on pole position. George Russell's gone pole. You son of a bitch. I hate that man. Really? Was it a double? Yeah, it's a double yellow. Automatically deleted, so... If it's double waved yellow, that automatically gets deleted. Well spotted, chat. We'll just wait. I've got double yellows here. Crofty's saying double yellow, so it shouldn't count. So what's Max done? That's the first thing we need to look at. So he comes into turn 9. Oh, his backhand gets away on the way in. He was a few thousandths down. But I think it's... on the curb on the outside, maybe unsettles the car. Because the car went on corner entry, not sort of mid-corner or anything. And then he's gone across and in the wall... and that's it. Then the double yellows would have come out. They're talking about in Sky. He was down on Antonelli's time at that point. He was purple, but 6 thousandths down overall for the lap, if that makes sense. So he was in the mix. We need to see George's on board, but that's double yellow. So let's see. Here we go. Yeah, it's double waved yellows. It's flashing yellow, so that's double waved yellows. So George will lose that lap. Or, well, I'm going to say should lose that lap. He didn't seem to lift an awful lot either. I'm going to watch that again. This is interesting. I might be wrong. He just didn't seem to lift an awful lot. He lifts early for 9. Nah, I wouldn't. That to me isn't enough anyway for double waved yellows. So I think that lap time should be deleted, but there might be more to it as well. He's celebrating. Listening to Bernie, sorry. So Bernie's saying the double yellow was after he'd gone through that sector. So it won't have shown his dashboard. Okay. So Bernie's saying Russell did not go through a double waved yellow. So she says that she thinks they'll go with what the Marshall post was showing when Russell goes through it. My argument, and I'm going to say this now, by the way, okay, I am a Ferrari fan, so there's a huge amount of bias here, but from what I listened to and even pushed the headphone right in my ear, he lifts into turn 9 earlier, but I don't think that's enough of a lift. And I think even if that lap stands, I think that should come with some punishment, I suppose. I don't like the word punishment, but I'm going to just go back and just watch that again on board, and I've got Sky so I can rewind it, just have a look, but it just didn't sound like enough of a lift for me. Do you know what I mean? For that kind of accident, even single yellows, you've got to lift off more, but I mean there is a lift, and that they might see that as enough, but again, as always, remember, we're reacting to this live. We haven't got all the data. The board is flashing. So the flashing board is double waved yellows, yes? Croft is saying he clearly lifts off. He does clearly lift off, but does he lift off enough? Is going to be the ultimate question. But yeah, I'm not... Well, I'm not staying live to find out what the outcome is, that's for sure. I was not sitting here for 3 hours while they debate that, but we're already at the interviews now, aren't we? So... yeah, I thought that was over. As soon as... I mean... Is there a rule in... And I honestly don't know the answer to this. Is there a rule in Q3 they don't throw the red for things like that? Because if that was Q1, that would have been red flagged immediately. Or Q2, red flagged immediately. It's Q3, we don't red flag it if the checker flag... Well, the checker flag already fallen, hadn't it? So it doesn't matter. Yeah, good point. Yeah, ignore that. But yeah, at the moment, George has pole position, provisional pole position. But as somebody said in chat, where are you? DJ Red Raven, hey mate, hope you're having a good one. Says flags supersede dash. So if the flags said double waved yellows, then that should not stand, because flags always take priority over what the dash says. I think the physical flag as well, doesn't it? Takes priority over what the flashing boards are saying. I think flags are the absolute definitive. That is what it is, whether you like it or not. I think we've had before. Is that Giancarlo Fisichella doing the interviews? Yeah. So flashing is yellow. Flashing 2 triangles is double yellow, says Fud. Incident involving George Russell reviewed. No further investigation. Cue your Family Guy passport memes on Twitter. I'm waiting. They'll be there. I'll see them when I go looking. So there you go. George Russell 1 second. I need to do a pause for the timestamp, and then I will get a drink. Then we'll run through the order, and I'll confirm what's just been put up on the screen now. So give me 15 seconds. Oh, yes. George Russell is on pole position for the 2026 Austrian Grand Prix, despite setting a lap under what looked like double waved yellows. However, the stewards have had a look, they've reviewed it and say no further investigation. So as it stands, George Russell is on pole position. Whether anybody wants to ask for clarification on that is a different matter. We thought Ferrari had it in the bag. I was getting very excited, and Russell has got pole position. Funnily enough, though, 1 second, wait. Hilarious. Oh, hang on. Wait. The timing screens have come here with Hadjar, Hamilton, Lawson, Leclerc, Norris, Piastri, Lindblad, Antonelli and Russell all had their lap times deleted for a double yellow at turn 9. Now, he's saying 100-meter lift before the corner. If that's the case, then he's probably fine. But if the stewards have deemed that to be okay, please help me, chat. I'm struggling here to understand this. If they found that to be okay, but then they've deleted everyone's laps for double yellow at turn 9, is that they're in laps maybe where the double yellow and the timing shouldn't have been going? So why is that? Laps to the pits based on time. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to work out. But they came through at 16:08, and it's now 16:09. So it would possibly be their laps back to the pits would make sense. So it was definitely double waved yellows then, eventually, but it wasn't as George went through them. And Crofty's just going through it now. Sorry, I'll get back to the order in a second. I tell you what, yeah, George Russell is on pole position. That is what the stewards have said. He went through what we thought was a double waved yellow, but apparently may not have been. He went through that. He did lift 100 meters for the corner, he said there. That was for the FIA, by the way, that statement in the interview there. Nobody goes 100 meters for the corner, except for George Russell. That has been reviewed. No further investigation. So he gets pole position by 0.2 of a second over Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. It looked like Ferrari had it in the bag, but not quite. Like I say, a lot of lap times deleted after that, but that could have been, as others have said, laps back to the pits. That makes sense there, although the clock wouldn't have been running at that point because the checker flag had fallen. So I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Russell's on pole. Leclerc, Hamilton's second and third. Antonelli is fourth and Max Verstappen in fifth. He crashed at turn 9. Was in the mix for pole position, but I think he was fast in the middle sector, but he was ever so slightly down on the time. In fact, he was purple in the middle sector, but he was still down on Leclerc's time overall. So I think with Russell's big lap at the end there, Verstappen would have still missed out, but he might have been on the front row for Russell and Verstappen into turn 1. That would have been epic. Norris in 6th place with Piastri 7th. McLaren not really in it in the end for pole, despite promising maybe earlier in the weekend. Hadjar 8th, Lawson 9th. Actually, I'll go back to that for a second. Piastri out-qualified by Norris, despite Piastri looking like the better of the two earlier in the session, so that's something for Norris there. Hadjar 8th, Lawson 9th and Lindblad 10th. Great result there for Racing Bulls. Gasly 11th, Bortoletto 12th, 13th for Behrman, 14th for Hulkenberg and 15th for Ocon. Toto says it was a single yellow and a 100-meter lift from George. Ted's sceptical. Sorry, I'm going to go in a minute, but he said it was an incredible lap. He lost 1.5 tenths with the lift. Ted said it would have been the last lap of his life if he can do that and lift off that much. Then, yeah, sceptical, but that's what's been decided. 16th Colapinto, 17th Sainz, 18th Albon, 19th Perez, 20 Bottas, 21 Alonso, 22nd and last for Lance Stroll. So, Toto Wolff is obviously defending his driver. George is obviously going to take the stance that he was fine. I tell you what, we've got a few minutes before I have to go. I mean, what do you think, chat? I mean, look, I thought Ferrari had the front row locked out, so I was very giddy, so that was a bit of a shock at the end there. But he reckons he lost a tenth and a half with that lift, which is what... So he would have been, what, 4 tenths clear of the Ferraris? Having shown pretty much sod all weekend. I think I felt like a big gap, although yesterday Ferrari were well off, so maybe it isn't a big gap. I'd like to see Antonelli's last lap. Did he back off more? Could he have been in the mix? In fact, his last lap, I haven't got the times there because I can't rewind on the live thing, so I don't know. But yeah, sure, it's surprising. I thought as soon as that popped up purple, I thought that'll be deleted, but it wasn't. And if look, we can all moan, and I will moan because it's cost Ferrari a front row lockout, so I'm gonna whine. But it is what it is. They've made the call. FIA stewards incident involving car 63. That's George Russell. Reviewed. No further investigation. They then deleted the next laps from everybody on their way to the pits for double yellows at turn 9. So that says to me that it was single yellow at turn 9, then became double before they got back around there. But that, to be honest, Jonty, that's just George's demeanour. I don't think he's specifically being like that for this. I just think that is who he is. But my biggest concern there, removing bias and likes and dislikes for drivers aside between us all, let's just do that for a second. I know it's hard, but my concern there is we now have a precedent, and they can get nasty. But look, if it's double waved yellows, if Max Verstappen or Charles Leclerc or Lando Norris or Oscar Pierre, whoever, do that in Silverstone next week, and it is a double waved yellow, they'll lose their lap, and rightly so. But to George, apparently it wasn't a double yellow. I don't know. Sad Mariners fan, thank you very much, mate, for your super chat. Appreciate that. Sorry, it's 20 seconds to register why you're on green then. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. It says you have a car in the barrier on the outside of a fast corner, and the FIA is saying a slight lift, but the same apex speed is fine. Yeah, thank you again, mate, for your super chat and your support. Really appreciate that. Good to see you, and hope you're having a good one. But yeah, no, it doesn't matter who that is. I promise you. And I think enough of you have been here long enough to know that I'm honest with these things. And I try not to let any bias blind me. But I would be saying the same if that was Leclerc or Hamilton or Verstappen or Antonelli. I don't... I delete times for a yellow flag. I've always felt like if you're going to do it for a double yellow, you might as well do it for all of them. Because the yellow flag isn't there for a laugh. You know, something's happened. You know? So I just worry that sets a precedent, and we'll find out in a week's time if it does it again. But it's just I think the overriding feeling right now is just surprise, because normally that sort of thing is absolutely just no. You don't do it. But I don't think he lifted enough for that level of accident. But then George Russell isn't to know the level of accident until he arrives, is he? So that's his defense there. But I'm waffling. I'm trying not to make it sound like I hate George Russell, but and I'm just salty because Ferrari aren't on pole. But it just doesn't. I think a yellow flag should just be either lap time deleted, or you have to lift by a larger amount anyway. But double waved yellows, yellow flags, whatever. I mean, yeah. And the red flag argument I brought up earlier, I was thinking at the time live, it can't have been red because the checkered flag had already fallen, so that was it. But it just didn't feel enough, and I think the FIA need to look at that again. They won't do anything now. That you might find, I mean, if Christian Horner was still here, he'd be protesting already. You know what he was like. Maybe Ferrari will ask for some clarification. Maybe Red Bull will as well. Maybe they'll want to see the data points the FIA are looking at, but generally speaking, when the FIA say no further investigation, that generally means he's on pole unless somebody protests. So it just, yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me. But again, I might be being salty. George loses it in that corner and that's straight into Verstappen's car. Lap time deleted. Sorry, what the fuck is happening again, says Marta. Next yellow flag, says Kieran. Everyone will just ignore it. Marco will be complaining all night on German and Austrian TV. He will be, Woody Red Raven, constantly complaining about it. So I've never seen a person get a pole position with a yellow flag, let alone double yellow. That's ridiculous. I don't understand the double yellow thing. I don't understand what they're saying about the double yellow. If anyone, because I'm going to have to finish in a minute, but if anyone can quickly explain that to me, just for, not for the stream, just for my own bloody sanity, I'm not quite understanding what's being said. Because Bernie was saying, because I don't like dead air, as you know, so I was trying not to be silent. Oh, hang on. Oh, Ted. Ted's talking. Let's listen to Ted. Ted Kravitz. Fred Vasseur is talking to Jerome D'Ambrosio. So they are... I'm wondering if they're going to have a word with the stewards. What's... I'm going to try and listen to this. Sorry, I hate dead air. Frevisur says that they're saying he's slowed down enough. No further action. They don't have access to the data. So it's deleted if it's double yellow, definitely. I think he's trying to see Ted if he's going to take a protest. So he's saying to have a clear opinion, you need to have the data, and we don't have access to the data. So maybe that data needs to be made available to people then. But I think I agree with what I'm only half listening because I'm trying to do a live stream. But I think what Ted is saying is he's only lost a 10th. Is that considered enough for that accident? Yeah. I don't understand. I do understand. I understand what they're getting at. I'm just not trying to I'm just not quite understanding. If Ferrari don't have access and others don't have access to the data, then you need to go to the FI and get the data, surely. Because that is and that could be race deciding. That Mercedes is so bloody quick, he might just disappear tomorrow. But, yeah. The FIA have told Crofty something. Hang on. So the double yellows were confirmed for the laps after their runs in Q3. As somebody said in chat, so thank you there. So, yeah, that's fine. We know that. The no further action was for not slowing down under a yellow flag. So that's been confirmed by the stewards. I'm relaying information now, like don't shoot the messenger. So it looked like a double yellow, but the data sheet itself may well have shown a single yellow, which is why he will get away with that, whatever it is. So George is on pole. That is how it is. If Ferrari or anybody tries to do anything, then maybe that changes. As it stands, he's on pole. So I'm already staying later than I should have done, but it's okay. I think I've got a couple of minutes yet. So yeah, I don't know what to say really. It's different. This is the problem with watch-alongs and things. You don't always get all the info. I might come back tomorrow for the race reaction. It'll all be explained. It all makes perfect sense, and it's a completely justified pole position. But in the moment, I can't give you that honest opinion. I can just give you a reaction, which is that never sits right with me. It was a personal best final sector. I don't think I'll be able to get the timings up again, I'm afraid. I might be able to. Just 1 second. No, I can't, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't get the data back just yet. It's not ready for replay, annoyingly. Otherwise, I would have gone back and had a look at his sector times. But yeah, no, I'm not. I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave the last word and all this to you in chat. In fact, do you know what? No, I'm not. Anthony Davidson's here. I'm sorry for the dead air. I really am. I hate sitting in silence, but remember, I'm a fan like you. I'm trying to work this out. So Max, back end gets away. It's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? I wonder if the curb just unsettled the car a little bit on the outside. It can do that. Even if it's been going on that line all weekend, it can still catch things out. So he's in the wall. That, for me, was when the session was over. I think that... I've got the green flag just in front of Max there. So that's just to say that that's past the point of the incident. So we know that. Antonelli was really slow through there, though, from what I recall. So here's Antonelli. We're going to watch Antonelli's on board here. So he comes down towards turn 9. We're going to see... There's the flashing yellow lights. So let's have a look at that. I want to see what the panel's showing. There is a yellow. It does go yellow. It's flashing yellow, but it's not the triangles for Kimi. Goes yellow, then green, funnily enough, then yellow again, but it doesn't do the 2 triangles. So it's not a double wave at that point for Kimi. That's for Kimi Antonelli. And he backs... Yeah, he completely bails out of the lap. He's back right out of it. Game over. So he's done, in my opinion, the right thing. So Anthony Davis saying he thinks it's a double yellow on the light panel and not the marshals. This is where things get just so confused. So we're going to see the Russell thing. Then I think we'll just leave it there for today, because otherwise I'm just sit here all day just staring at flags and listening to one person saying that is a double and another person saying it isn't. It's really lovely turn 7 and 8, actually, to be fair, from George. I'll give him that. But he, does flash there. Well, that's not 100 metres for the corner, I'll tell you that now. It's not 100 metres though, Ant. It is a lot earlier, but it's not 100 metres. I don't think so. Maybe exaggerating slightly. I think he has lifted, there's no doubt. Sorry, chat, I'll be with you in a second. Me and Ant are chatting, it's fine. Yeah, and then it's green there. So he's okay after that, because that's green, but it's the bit before. I don't know whether that's a double yellow or a single yellow, because I thought, as somebody said in chat, I thought it was the 2 triangles that flash. So I don't know. Russell's on pole. There we go. Hang on a sec. We've got an in-lap from Kimi. This might tell us. I'm trying to get confused by the light panel. This is the issue here for me. I thought the light panel had the 2 triangles for double yellows. So we've got another panel. Yeah, that's different. Yeah. So it must have been a single yellow for George then. Is it? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, you're right. It's triangle. So it was a single yellow for George. Case closed. Surely. That's a double waved yellow, yeah. So George is... And we've got the flags as well now. So, yeah. So based on the light panels and the light panels alone, that was a single yellow, right? So the light panel is double waving. The marshals are single waving, and the flag supersedes the panel, I think is what Ant's getting at here. I wish he'd hurry up, though. I know what he's trying to do. I want an answer before I have to go. Yeah, so the light panel wasn't doing that for George. It wasn't flashing like that for George, so it must be a single then. He's just going to show the George one again just to confirm it. Yeah. There's no physical yellow flag on the approach to the light panel. The light panel is doing that for George, which is a single waved yellow, whereas the one for Antonelli is doing the double flashes with the triangles. So, sorry guys, I think we're getting there. Thanks to, again, in my opinion, the best pundit on Sky Sports F1, Anthony Davidson. I just don't feel like there's any BS. He just looks at what's there and gives you a view, and that's good. So it was based on that. It was based on the light panel. It was a single waved yellow for George and a double waved yellow when they came round again. But to my other point, it should always be lap deleted for yellow flags, in my opinion. But that's a conversation for another day. So as Kaori's put there, done and dusted, single yellow, Russell pole. The margin's huge. It was a big margin in the end. So that was, as Ted Kravitz put it, lap of his life. But thank you very much to Anthony Davison for sorting that one out. Let's read some of your comments. I'll go back. I'll read back a few minutes. Just, I know that, yeah. we've just had all that evidence. So yeah, let's George's battery will give up the ghost anyway, so it doesn't really matter, says Hillbilly Reefer. Yeah, true. Not to mean to George, but does anyone actually think he's going to win regardless if he gets pole anyway? It's it's like letting your toddler score a goal. Is it the same people that did the VR check on the Iran goal? Why don't you do the races live shot? I briefly, I'm fan first. I'm supposed to be a fan. I'm not. When I'm what you've seen with qualifying today, I can't hear half of what's going on. I'm missing things. If I then do the race watch along, I won't do the race reaction. So basically, my question will always be to people, and I ask it multiple times a season. I can't do both. I won't do both because I want to enjoy the racing. Do you prefer a watch along or a reaction? You can have one or the other. And every time I ask that, overwhelmingly the answer is reaction. So that's why, Craig, it's not a. I don't really enjoy them. I can't concentrate on the races. And it's difficult to then go and react to it afterwards because you've not really paid attention when you're running a live stream, so you miss so much. And I think also, if I'm going to be an F1 fan doing an F1 fan YouTube channel, I need to sort of enjoy the racing, if that makes sense, mate. So that's why, for anyone who's wondered. I used to do them, but that's because I was forced into them, despite me saying I didn't want to do them, and telling them why not. But you know, that's a dishonest pole position in my books. Says Cited Canvas, don't care what he claims. He won't win anyway. A lot of people saying that, actually, to be fair. On the bright side, both Ferraris are up there, so they can play with strategy with both cars, says Pascal. Yeah, and actually, I'd tell you another bright side, Pascal. Antonelli fourth means we've got a quick car, arguably slightly out of position. I think he would have been on for pole today without all those shenanigans at the end. That means he's got to get past the Ferrari, so we've got a battle there, and Verstappen looks quick as well, so positives there. I like Radio LeSean. I like the reaction post-race. I respect whatever you choose, says Red Raven. Thank you, mate. That to me is the correct answer. But Sam Mariners fan, I rather prefer the reaction discussion post-race. Replay is up. Just check. Russell's sector 3 lap was 20.069. His best was 20.042. So he's a little bit slower then. He says a tenth and a half is what him and Toto are saying. So yeah. 200 is absolutely not slowing down, says John T. Bogby says, good to see George back out here annoying all the usual moaners. I don't think people are moaning. People just want some clarity on what's going on there with the flags. I think now that we've explained the flag situation properly and we've seen the replays, I think people are accepting, okay, fair enough. But at that point in time, that didn't feel like that pole position was going to stand. Once you go back and watch the replays, it's clear that was fine. Whether or not you think he lifted enough is another question, but yeah. Ankita Singh says Yabba Dabba Doo, which was translated from Yabba Dabba Doo. Thank you very much, YouTube, for getting that wrong. Yeah, exactly, Joaquim. Yeah, wanting clarification. It's yeah, I know. Driver crashed in one of the fastest corners in the calendar. It's only a single yellow. That isn't Russell's fault. All these stewards should be sent home tonight for reckless conduct. Maybe on the last line, Brian, I don't agree, but on the first bit, you're absolutely right. That corner, you'd think double waved yellows immediately. If it's a single waved yellow, and that's what's been shown, and that is what George has seen, if that should be a double waved yellow, George can't then be penalised because the marshals didn't put the flags out. That's on the marshals, on the stewards, whoever's operating them boards. So George has reacted to that single flashing yellow in a way that has enabled him to still go on and take pole. So he's lifted. I don't think it was I'll go back and watch again, but I don't think it was 100 meters. He says 100 meters. I think so. Kaori say about 75 probably. Yeah, it wasn't exactly, but he still lifted enough for the stewards to let that go. Whether, like, Jonty does not agree, clearly does not agree in chat that's enough. But if the stewards think that's enough, that's we can complain all we want or whatever, or moan, but ultimately the stewards have the numbers. They'll make the call, won't they? So yeah, I'd rather see the Ferraris 1 and 2, but yeah, they weren't quick enough obviously or quick enough to beat George today, so there we go. But yeah, don't forget both Mercedes will break down anyway in a race, so that's what Ferrari needs to take advantage of, is the Mercedes unreliability. So yeah, sorry, I'm trying to sort of wrap the stream up and deal with chat. Deal with sounds really bad, like you're all being naughty. You're not being naughty. I think a lot of people were angry 5 minutes ago. Now that Anthony Davidson has gone through all that and we've seen it all, I think we can all sort of go, okay, fair enough. So yeah, we're not complaining, we're not moaning, we're just waiting for clarification, which is, if you're new to F1, as Martin Brundle would say, first of all, welcome. Get ready for the phrase waiting for clarification, because you'll enjoy it over the next few years, because it always feels like we're waiting for clarification on something. So any questions or comments super quickly before I go? Quick fire comments ideally, because I've got 3 minutes before I need to end the stream. So really should have ended a little bit ago, but I've got a few more minutes apparently, so that's okay. But yeah, chat was mainly confused. I agree, Jamie. Once it was all laid out by, particularly that Kimi Antonelli replay where it showed the two triangles flashing, it just confirmed what we all thought, but we weren't sure of. So Moray says tea or coffee? Hot tea, iced coffee. There you go. That's a quick fire one for you. Massa is still waiting for clarification. Yeah, that's very true. He's only been waiting a few years, nearly 2 decades, but he'll get there, bless him. He'll get there. That made me chuckle. The data should show whether he did not. Exactly, Craig. If the data says he lifted enough, then we have to go on the data. But yeah. Having a beer. Craig's having a beer. I might have one in a bit. But yeah, appreciate your company. Is clear. Still has a bitter taste. Get out of here and go and have a good day, Sean. Okay, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the decisions made by the stewards. I'm just sulking because Ferrari aren't on pole, really. You just say it. Should the Ferraris run first and second? Do you think they will ask Leclerc to let Hamilton pass for the championship? No, Pascal, I don't. If we were 6 races from the end of the season, absolutely, 100%. But at this stage of the season, it's way too soon to do that. Who's to say Charles won't go on a run and bring himself into play? So just a little bit too early at the minute. Flying Tiger says it wasn't a car ran wide. A car in the barrier isn't abandon your lap. I'm not mad at George. I'm just mad at the procedure or lack thereof. Exactly. It should have been a double wave yellow. It wasn't. So we can't retrospectively or retroactively punish George because the stewards put out a flag that we think should have been something else. Do you know what I mean? So we can't blame George for that. But Rich is interested. Says I prefer hot coffee and iced tea. I do like an iced tea. I won't lie. I went off it after I got a bit drunk on Long Island iced tea. Super quick story for you. Then we're going to finish. My sister-in-law came round and we were having Long Island iced teas, homemade. Very nice. I do love a Long Island iced tea. And she got a recipe and we weren't really paying much attention, and she was making this recipe and she brought the drinks to us and they were so strong, like blew your cock off strong. They were you're gipping while you're drinking it. We kept drinking them, as you do, because maybe we just got the mix wrong, and she kept doing it and doing it. And it turned out she was using the measurements for a pitcher of iced tea per portion. So we were each drinking a pitcher of iced tea every single time we had one, and we ended up so drunk that she went to the loo, and about 10 minutes later we just heard a scream and then giggling, and she broke my toilet. So what I'm saying is, don't drink 6 pitchers of iced tea to yourself, or you will break toilets. It was, yeah. But so I haven't had a Long Island iced tea or any iced tea since then, because it's really put me off them, because I don't want to break another toilet. But there you go. That's a pointless story for you on a random Saturday, but it's welcome to the channel if you're new. This is what we do. But yeah, how'd you break a toilet? Seriously. Silly woman. Not impressed. Looking forward to seeing Kimi's progress tomorrow as well, says Bogby Pogby. Should be fun to see some overtakes. Absolutely. Keep an eye on Verstappen as well. Is this a good time to remind us all that MBS is going to be FIA president for the rest of time, says Jamie. Can Lando gain some positions? It'll be interesting. McLarens don't seem on it today. I can't remember where the race pace was yesterday. I'd fancy him. I don't think he'll finish lower than 7th. Maybe Hadjar's a threat, but I could see him maybe nipping into the top 5. But things could happen. If we've got Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Antonelli wheel to wheel, things could happen. So maybe mix some grenadine and Long Island ice in a Long Island, and you have a glorious purple Long Island that makes the sky just as purple. Awesome. I may have to. And I'll do 3 more comments. Sad Mariners fan says I had a bar in my old town that would give me double Long Islands. It was about 12 ounces of liquor and a splash of Coke. Loved them. We had a bar in Lincoln, Sad Mariners fan, that used to be called Trebles, and you could only order trebles. I went with my sister, and another story for me. I went with my sister. She had a treble vodka and Coke, and she took a sip of it, pulled the weirdest face, and then she started blowing on it. I was like, it's strong, not hot. That's doing nothing. Horrible. Could be chaos on top of the hill during the first lap with a few drivers out of position, says Pascal. I'll read 2 more then because I went off on one there. John says safety. Something. That's my comment. Got you. I know, mate, and I look forward to your WhatsApp shortly. It'll be fun. I think we found what our next midweek stream's about, but anyway. And Jamie says all of us being drunk. Absolutely proper drunkards. Why not? But I am going to wrap it with that. I have to go. I should have gone 10 minutes ago, but I love you all and I love talking F1, so I'm going to disappear. I'm going to go to the end screen to do this bit, so why not? So whoosh. I need a sound effect. Whoosh. There you go. There you go. Got the voice out. Have a good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining me today, especially if you're inside and you're in the UK and it's a bit hot where you are. So, I hope you're getting over the heat. But thank you for joining me. Really appreciate your company. Please do drop a like on the stream if you haven't already, just for the drinking stories. We'll do some more at some point. They're always a laugh. And subscribe if you're new as well. Lots to come. We've got the race reaction tomorrow, shortly after the Grand Prix, probably about 4 p.m.-ish BST. I'll be joined by Chamber for that. And then, of course, we've got preview, qualifying watch on. I might do a bonus stream or a bonus video next week. We'll see how we go. And a race reaction as well, I think, again with Stuart for the British Grand Prix, which is the next one. So really appreciate that. Thanks for your super chat as well, Sad Mariners fan, and thank you to all of your names scrolling on the bottom. I will update that on the 1st of July, as I do the 1st of every month. Thank you for your support through Patreon memberships and all of that business. Link in the description if you'd like to support the channel. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Formula Sean, and until next time, goodbye.